Hello. Okay, so welcome everybody. And this time I'll be demonstrating the new WLED feature that I've made. I've been thinking about this for the past few years, and with the advent of AI, I was able to create the feature from scratch. So basically, this feature is a custom effects loader where instead of having to rely on the hard-coded effects on WLED devices and then doing a user mod and flashing it on the board each time you have an effect. You'll be doing those steps again and again when you deploy it on your ESP32 boards. So the feature that I was thinking is maybe if we can bring down all those effects as part of a um, structured file system where users can compile their own versions of their effects and upload it to the ESP32 board. And when I mentioned compiled, basically this feature has its own a tiny virtual machine running when the app starts or when the board starts, and that virtual machine loads the bytecode of the compiled WLED effects. So with that said, compiled, this also brings in a new type of programming language, basically just to natively interface the predefined effects, calculations, steps on the WLED and wrapped it as part of kind of the compiled it into a register-based code, and that bytecode will be read when the board is running. So right now this feature sits in the separate GitHub. I called it Kolori fork of WLED, and it's in this GitHub repo and it's available right now. Links should be posted somewhere where you see this video. And aside from that, this fork of WLED has some few additional features that is required to basically interface with our new WLED custom effects loader. So for this fork, you'll be seeing these two new specific folders. I'm not sure if my mouse is visible, but yeah, this fork contains the WFX compiler, which is basically the compiler used to run the custom effects on the WLED. And with this one, right now I'm calling this a WLED Lang, or basically a WLED language. And this saves as the WLED extension. And when you compile the .WLED, it becomes .WFX. And there's a README here which contains the information of how the language works and how to use this in this fork of WLED. Aside from that, the native effects from this fork were stripped out because I need to make some space and try to manage the effects no longer used and turn them into its own WFX script or file. So in this folder, WFX_effects contains the .WLED scripts, which basically I tried to make these effects, the native effects, converted into the WLED Lang script, and you can compile it to WFX that you can upload to your WLED boards. Obviously that runs this version of the WLED 4. So this also provides you a reference on how to use the compiler. From this folder, you can just basically run the compiler, this one, or pass in the directory, and it will compile all the WLED files in this folder. There's also a reference on how to use the language. I will not dig deep into this like script. Maybe at some point in the future I'll have a tutorial on how to write the effects, but essentially what I was trying to achieve here is that let's try to open a sample WLED effects. So the script is not really a kind of typical class OOP structure, but it's just a functional way of coding things here. So everything is under an effect tag or keyword with the name of your effects that will be shown on the WLED. Meta contains the features you want to have this effect. Example, if you enable a palette selection, if you have you need some sort of controls like for the sliders, and if you have if you're going to define a 1D or 2D type of effects, you can also define it here. And the render is the block section where it executes the loop of your animation or the effects. There are some common known features that it supports. So you can use a variable, you can use some conditional statements, some for loops here. What else? So this also supports some kind of hard-coded keywords or constants. For example, len, now. Some of these information are available in this README file here. So aside from that, if I'm gonna go back to the compiler, there is a simulator and a test folder. So the test will basically run a test of the compiler if it still works. And the simulator is a JavaScript based application where if you run this, you'll be able to write the code or the effects from this one, and you can use it to compile and test your effects. So if I'm gonna show that real quick, let me open up my terminal. Oops, sorry. So I'm in the fork of the WLED, and if I go to WFX compiler / simulator and I type node serve.js, so this WFX simulator will open, and this will also read all the WLED effects in the repository. So if I open one of the example, it loads it and you can play around with it from here. And another feature that I tried to implement here is that this also has, or let me see if I can find it here, the scrolling text effect. Let me see. Scrolling text. Here. So as I mentioned, if you define your effect as a 2D, you can also control it from the meta tag and then basically do your own logic or algorithm on how you display your effects. So just an example, this is the scrolling text effects. If I can type here hello world, sorry. So this also preemptively selected the 2D and the width and height, basically that you can simulate. If I can simulate it 30 by 10, this also does that, and you can also modify the background. And if we try to adjust the speed, you can do it here. for these custom sliders, I believe this in the original effect, oh yeah, this controls the size of the font. This also controls the I'm not sure. Oh, it's the trailing effects. Okay, if I set that to 0, so it's just no trail. And then this one, I'm not so sure if I remember this correctly, but anyway, this is just a demonstration. All the effects that were written here are kind of trying to mimic some of those native effects. You might as well see some features that are not in the original effects, because I was just playing around with them. You can also do it like that. But yeah, so this is the local WFX simulator that you can code the effects into. So you can basically change it here. You can compile it, and then if you save this or save a new one, you can take that one and compile it on the board or on your repo and upload it on the board. Now, to get this fork of WLED running, if you are into coding, you might try cloning this repository and building it just how you build the original WLED. You can use the platform IO. It has a platform IO configuration. You can also use the IDF .py or the ESP tool to build and flash the this version of WLED, and yeah, basically it's just the same thing. On the other hand, if you just wanted to try it on your existing boards, I've also forked the installer website here. Make sure it says this one, Kolori fork, and I've got a bunch of bin files precompiled to the latest version of WLED. It says here nightly build, but it's not really nightly build. I'm having trouble trying to integrate this into the actual like GitHub IO based on my fork of WLED. And as to the devices that I've tested it using ESP32 S3. I've tried the original configuration from the WLED installer, but I had no avail in running them, and so I've created a specific S3 no PS RAM version of it. To me, that works fine. I think this 4MB flash QSPI also works, but I've only tested this a few times just to boot the WLED and see if the Wi-Fi still works and everything. But for the most part of the development, I've been using the ESP32 S3 4MB flash no PS RAM. And yeah, so using this GitHub IO page, you can select this. Obviously, this is not an official installer. If you trust me, just go ahead and agree and install it on the example board that you have. Discretion, I'm not liable if you guys don't know what you're doing, but if you know what you're doing and if you have questions about it, just feel free to ping me anywhere you can find me. And yeah, with that being said, let's go to the demonstration. Oh, if you want me, I can try actually running it here. I can install it here. So this should work. So I have currently one plugged into my USB ports installed. After this, once it's flashed, I will be using a different build that's currently running in the background. I have this one running that version of WLED, and yeah, we can try to explore everything there and see what it looks like and what features we can still use and not use. Just gonna skip it. Yeah. Okay, so without further ado, let me try opening the. Let's see if I can find it here. So this interface right now is the one that is running this guy right here. I can try disabling. Oh, and before I forget, I think I've missed it. Didn't have the script for this video, but yeah, let's just try one thing. Doing the compilation. So to run the compiler, you can try to run node WFX compiler / compiler JS, and then you pass in the path where the effects are located. So if you do like that, WFX compiler, actually effects, press enter, you'll have this right here. Not sure if it's gonna be a lot. So yeah, it compiles like that, and then if you go back to the folder, you'll see that WFX bit files are located in the same folder as the WLED files. Now, going back to the features, yeah, as you can see, it looks normal. I've actually have the same UI as much as possible, but we'll go through the steps on the process of how to upload and manage the effects and how to use them. So yeah, when you booted the WLED fork, you will be seeing only the solid palette. So the solid palette still works as is. You can see the color there changed to static one. I can reduce the brightness a little bit. Okay, and then if you wanted to add a new effect, what you'll be doing is you click add effects, choose the files, and you need to point out the effects folder here, and you'll be seeing all the precompiled WFX bin files. You can upload all at once. You can also select individual effects, but essentially once they're uploaded, I think I've uploaded all of them here. You'll be seeing the effects just like on regular effects here. Based on your current board configuration, this will also detect if it's a 1D or 2D configuration, and at the same time this will also be running just like a regular effects we had before. For example, if this is, I'm gonna change it to Aurora WFX, it changes to like that. You can still also control the palette selection here. If I change it to something more different, so it changed like that. If you will probably notice at some point that some of those effects may not be as close as possible. I didn't have much time to really fix them all together at once. I still have an ongoing work in progress trying to fix those native effects to match the original version of WLED. But for some effects, they are probably, to me, they work close as they were before. So for example, this is the breathe WFX. If I can change out to something else, let's try candle. Yep, it's there. What else? Let's try something else. I'm gonna try this rainbow. I'm gonna try let's use the fireworks. Let's try the fireworks. Yep. Not sure if that changed anything. Let's try change the palette. Yep, probably this one is broken. I think what I had before, was it the heartbeat? EFGH. Okay, this heartbeat. Yep, it still works like a heartbeat. I can make it fast. Oh shoot, wrong slider. So it ran fast. Now if I can fade it longer. Yep, it worked. What else? Loading, change something else. Still using the default RE. It's too fast, you can control it too slow. Then for the segments, they still work as is. If I can make this half segment, then add another one, 40 to 80. Yeah, if I can select one segment here, change it to something else, you see the other part of the segment is not changed. Now if I do this and do this, and change it to something else, maybe lightning, change color. Did it work? Let's see. Yeah, it worked. Oh, yeah, it's a lightning effect. You don't see it right away. Let me see. Try the sine rainbow. Yeah, okay, so yeah, the effect still works. So the one outer is like the last 40 pixels, and then the inner 40 are, yeah, the first 40 pixels. So segments work. If you also add it as a playlist or a preset, you can also do it like that. Save, and then you can basically do same thing. Apply at boot, save it, and then you can then create a playlist out of your presets. The only caveat here is that, yeah, if you have uploaded an effect, you can also basically remove it from here. It doesn't require a reflash or a reboot. But if it gets funky, don't expect it to happen what you're expecting. You can, for safety measures, you can reboot it, but yeah, it doesn't really require it. But obviously, if it gets removed, and then you have a preset or playlist that is tied to that one. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, the preset will just complain that that effects are no longer available. So if I try to see, okay, just to make sure we're not hallucinating, setting it both to solid, then solid effects. Okay, let's change color. Okay. Yeah, it's changed color. And then if I delete the ghost effects, ghost rider effects, delete this one, and then if I try to click this, okay, so what actually happened is that it picked up the previous effect tagged to the index of, you know, the based on the list here. Obviously it's no longer there, so it's just trying to recover from you know, try to not crash, and therefore it will just use the next one being tied to that index. But yeah, obviously it's up to the user how to manage it. I have no idea how to solve this problem yet, but to me it's not really a problem, but perhaps a feature. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Then just try to see if we can make a sample 2D matrix here. This is not a 2D configured WLED fixture, but yeah, as you can see, you can now start seeing the 2D effects here. I'm not sure if it even works. I probably need to reboot it at some point, or after this. I mean, that's also how you do when you change it on a normal WLED. And yeah, so if you're also having fun with it, and make sure you save all your effects, you can also go to security and updates, and you can click this backup effects, and it will download the effects that you have in your board. It will download a zip file. Did I click it? I don't think so. Yeah, okay, that's good. So it will download a zip file, and then because there's a lot, it might crash. I have not tested this feature for like a lot of files. I should not have gone and add a lot of effects there. But yeah, okay, there we go. So that's it. And then go back. Oh, before I forget, this version of WLED is also supported in manual OTA updates. So if you just download the bin files from the WLED folder or WLED page, you can force an update from here, especially if you're coming from 0.15. That should still work. Oh, I think I crashed it. Oh, there we go, it's back. Okay, I think I crashed the whole thing. Let me see if I still have 3 heap. Okay, file system. Okay, yeah, maybe that bunch of thing is still crazy. But anyway, those are the effects for now, or effects, custom effects feature. To make sure you have it successfully flashed, you can check in the info that says it's the Kolori_fork. And yeah, if you guys have questions, just post it. And I'd like to get this feature be solid, and in order for me to do that, I need the community support. And from there, we'll be able to start sharing our effects to the community as well. So that's it for now, and thank you guys for watching. See you next time.